Con Media.
Welcome to the channel, man. Listen, man, this Renee Good situation has been in the news like crazy. No matter what side you on, this is a very sad situation. However, Renee Good brought it on herself. Okay. I'm talking to the people, and I've made hundreds, if not close to 1,000 videos on my channel saying that you have to survive the encounter with the police. Okay. It is not guaranteed. Something as simple as a simple traffic stop. Why are you arguing with the police? Okay. This may be the type of police that is on the BS for the day. And your life may be the life that he takes just from a simple confrontation. Something that you must de-escalate because you are already in a bad place. You cannot win that fight. You cannot win that argument. You may be 100% correct in your interaction, but on the side of the road is not the place to fight it. You have to fight it in the court of law. You have to sue. Suit might take years to complete. But if you do what you're supposed to do, survive the encounter, get out the way, you come back and sue later. You file paperwork. You put them people on them. Okay. Renee Good, like JD Vance said, it was a very sad and tragic situation, but it is something that she did on her own. Okay. So let's just say she is correct. She wasn't supposed to be shot. Right? She's still gone. She's still not coming back. Whether or not it was self-defense on behalf of their ICE agents, whether or not it was self-defense, she is still never coming back. From what I understand, she left 3 kids. Okay. 3 kids may get paid by the federal government, by the state of Minnesota. They may get paid by whoever. Okay. The ICE agent, highly unlikely, but he may go to prison. All for what? It's still not going to bring Renee Good back. She is gone. Okay. That was, she just dropped her one of her kids off at school, or all 3 of her kids. I think she had 3 kids. I think she was divorced and her new partner was in the car with her. She was either divorced or her husband died a few years back. But she was in the car with her new tough partner, standing there telling the ICE agents, come on and get you some lunch, big boy. Just continuously escalating the situation. Yeah, you got the camera out. So what? It doesn't mean anything. When these people are out here doing their job, the best bet you can do is get the hell up out their way and leave them alone, because you fighting for people that you don't even know. You got to love your family and friends and the people that you deal with every day. Then you got to hate them ICE agents. And that, you listen, in Atlanta, we had a protest back in the George Floyd days. I think it was 2020 or whatever. And guess what? If I wasn't at work at that time, I was working for MARTA, which is the transit bus service out here for the city of Atlanta, for those who don't know. If I wasn't at my job, I was nowhere to be found when it came to them protests. If I wasn't doing something for my job. Okay. I did not feel the need to go out there and protest something that was also self-inflicted. Should George Floyd have lost his life? Absolutely not. But guess what? Whatever he did led to the police interaction. If he wouldn't have did what he did, I think it was pass off a counterfeit $20 bill, he would still be here today. See, we have to take accountability for what we do. Y'all always saying what the law enforcement is doing this and the law enforcement is doing that and they doing us wrong and all this type of stuff. They doing all this wrong, but we don't want to take accountability for what we do. George Floyd did what he did was self-inflicted, and that led to his death. Yeah, his family got paid. Yes, the officer is off the street in prison. He got shanked a few times on one or two occasions. Yeah, all this has happened. But guess what? George Floyd is not here. He still ain't here. No matter what happens to that officer, he would not be back. Renee Good, whether or not it was self-defense, which in my humble opinion, I'm not an expert, but I do go heavy on the self-education, especially when it comes to laws, self-defense laws, and all that stuff. I do go heavy on the self-education. So it is time as a country that we take accountability for our actions. Okay. I look at myself, I use myself as an example. I served 16 years in prison. Guess what? I caused that. I believe that the judge's sentence of the 16 years was excessive, being that I had no prior criminal convictions, and the maximum was 20 years on an armed robbery. I thought that was excessive. However, I can't blame the judge. I can't blame the jury for finding me not guilty. I can't blame anybody, because if I wouldn't have did what I did, I would not have gotten incarcerated. I wouldn't have been in front of no judge so the judge can sentence me to 16 years. If I would have got shot, if I would have got shanked in prison, whatever would have happened to me was self-inflicted. So I take accountability for that. That's why the state of Georgia gave me a pardon, and it's essentially just like it never happened. Okay. Accountability is key. Renee Good, she put herself, you was given an order to get out of the car. Can the officer shoot her just for attempting to flee? No. But one thing about it, he was standing in front of that car. When he fired that first shot, he was standing in front of that car. He kind of got out the way. Shots 2 and 3 came. All right. Her wheel was turning to the right. So, but in his mind, it's easy to see stuff from the outside, or it's easy to say the video shows this, that. But when that stuff is going on in real time, It's hard to see. That officer may have been trained to hit that trigger multiple times. We don't know. In his mind, maybe she tried to run him over. So in real time, if he don't stop the threat, she may hit another officer. She may hit a pedestrian. She may hit anybody. We don't know because she was given an order to get out of the car and she did not. She tried to flee and she escalated a situation that did not have to be escalated. So a lot of people are protesting her death and everything. Everything that comes with that, make sure you're ready to take accountability for your actions. If something happens to you, y'all better go home and love your family more than you love fighting for somebody who didn't care to be fought for. She didn't care about fighting for her kids, going home to her kids. She didn't care about that. Why should you be out here protesting for her when she didn't care about her situation? She put herself in a situation. Accountability. If you don't take accountability, it can come back and kick you in your butt. And that's what it did to Miss Good. And now her family has to live with that. See, when it comes to things like this, you have to think. Not, of course, she can't think, she's gone now. But has she thought about the ramifications, which again, hindsight is 2020. If she would have thought about the ramifications that her 2 or 3 kids, whatever she got to grow up by themselves without a mama, she's gonna miss all the rest of their childhood, their grandkids, their great grandkids. She's gonna miss all this stuff. It's hard to think down the line the consequences of an action that you do today. About the federal agent, President Trump, Vice President Vance, they done already looked at it. They said that it was an act of self-defense. You got one side saying it was an act of self-defense. You got the other side saying a murder. Now, it could go 2 ways. All right. If he gets charged with a federal crime, even if he got found guilty, Trump is going to release him immediately. Won't see the inside of a jail cell because you already got the commander-in-chief endorsement. If it's state charges, Trump cannot pardon him, but I'm not necessarily certain. See, a lot of times when people get found guilty, it always depends on the jurisdiction that you're in. And we know Minnesota is a jurisdiction that is heavily Democratic. So this man can potentially go to prison. Potentially, if he gets charged. I don't see it really happening. But if he gets charged, he can potentially go to prison. He can potentially go to prison because of the jurisdiction that he's in. He can potentially get indicted, charged because of the jurisdiction that he's in, because it's heavily Democratic. And everybody has made this a red against blue. But once again, I don't believe that he's going to get found guilty or he's going to do any day, because Renee Good backed that car up. She stepped on that pedal. That first shot was justified for sure. The second 3, Maybe if in his mind, because you only got a split second to think about this, in his mind, if he's trying to save somebody else, whether it be a pedestrian or another officer, shots 2 and 3 are good. Also, he got drug previously. So PTSD is a real thing. This man got drug maybe a year or two prior to this by a car and ended up getting like 38 stitches. That is going to play a factor in whether or not he gets charged. That is admissible in this case right here. It is so many nuances to this case till it ain't even funny. But it all started with one person, and that was Renee Good. Instead of going home, she impeded ICE agents. Then she was instructed to get out the car. If she would have just got out the car, they probably was going to throw her in cuffs for a little while, 5-10 minutes, and then they was going to cut her loose because they wasn't there for her. People, you gotta survive the encounter. I don't care if you are 100% correct. Don't be ready to die for it because your kids gonna be here. Your wife, your husband, your mama, your aunties, uncles, grandparents, they're gonna be here while you gone. Don't be ready to die for it. Accountability. That is the word that you need to let stick with you. Thank you for tuning into XCon Media. Go right ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hurry up!